Man, Radulov is such a warrior, getting injured 2 times in 2 games, and then coming back and then getting game winners. It's crazy. Dude, I'm sick today. You handle the ship today. Well, I'm sick too, but I thought I could rely on you for something. Dude, you know it's your fault for relying on me for something. Get over it. You're right. Hello, guys. Welcome back to DSFR Game 42. Stars vs. the Devils. The Stars won 4-3 over the Devils, just barely winning there. And it was a very close game throughout. Both teams played really well. Both teams really deserved the win, but of course, one got the win and the other didn't. Now, some big notes here. Fought played his first game after 23 games of missing with, I think it was a knee injury. I think he had surgery on it. And Hansel also returned this game. I still don't get why he's on the power play. We'll get into that. But Hansel, fought making his debut after 23 games. He was pretty decent. I felt like defensively he was great. Offensively, of course, you didn't really notice him. He's not that kind of defenseman. But I felt like defensively he was really good in this one. And he was pretty noticeable in that end. Now, before even this game, Bishop had the best goals against average at home in the entire NHL. We know he can play at home ice, but he could somewhat play on away, but man, is he fantastic at the AAC. Now the game is 0-0, and Klingberg on the power play winds up, cranks it, and then it's off the post. Now there was 2 penalties early in this game where I felt like had no reason to be a penalty. The tripping call on Stephen Johns, which ended up having to bite them in the butt, since the Devils scored on that power play. I really didn't feel like that was a penalty at all. If it was a penalty, I thought it was going to be a 4-on-4 because both players tripped each other. So I feel like it was like it's kind of a bad call. Should have been a 4-on-4 from each team because the Stephen Johns stick, I think it was Hall, and the Hall sticked him. Like it was a weird call, and the Devils, of course, would end up scoring on it. Hall passes right in front to Boyle, who tips it in. Bishop should have stopped that, I guess. I mean, it was an okay goal to let up, but Bishop really should have stopped it, but hey, he didn't. And, of course, Boyle scores. If any Devil is going to score, I want it to be Boyle, because, of course, you know, the Kansas story. It's great that Boyle scores. I'm really never mad when Boyle scores, but if we lost the game because of that, and it was because of the penalty that was pretty BS, that gave them the goal, it would have been a different story, but Boyle, I'm just happy whenever he scores. It really doesn't matter. But that goal wouldn't end up mattering as Radulov gets a beauty of a pass from Andy Green, the Devils' captain. From the boards, a terrible pass in front, and Radulov is right there in center, and then he takes it and then just loops it around Schneider, and then the game is tied. Just a miracle given by Andy Green. A pass right to Radulov, and then he converts on it, and the game is tied. And then, of course, we get a glass replacement that takes like 20 minutes, it felt like, which just slows the game down. Rest in peace. Now, Vatanen was in the box. I think it was for a penalty. I don't remember what it was. He comes out of the box, and then immediately he's still in the box, and then decides to get his stick out and touch the puck, which, of course, is a bad idea, because that gives you another penalty. He goes right out of the box, and then right back in, and the Stars would convert on that power play. Klingberg shoots a wrist shot on net, and then Ritchie makes a beautiful tip, making it bounce down and then back up off the net, and then Schneider has no chance on that. And then we're up 2-1 on the power play that Devils really shouldn't have done. They should be mad about that. The Stars are shorthanded. Ben and Sagan on the penalty kill, which has been a great penalty killing line, believe it or not, for the whole season. Sagan shoots, and then it goes right off of Wood's leg, a bad bounce, and then Wood is just disappointed to earth and back. Like, just a bad bounce by the Devils, and that would end up being, I wouldn't say the game-winning goal, but the Stars are up 3-1, and Sagan gets his first shorthanded goal of all time in his career. He hasn't played on a penalty kill for his whole career until this season, so getting over a shorthanded goal, it's nice to see. Now, the hockey gods wanted the skates and the bounces to go even, so Hall shoots off a pattern skate, and it just slips in, and it bounces up, and then comes back right down into the net. Somehow that goes in, and the game is 3-2. The Devils have scored 2 goals in the last 1 minute of each period. Would they do it in the third, and would the Stars get more insurance? That would happen eventually. Hansel and Janmark starting off the third on a breakaway, a 2-on-1, and then Hansel passes right to Janmark, and Janmark has an empty net, and then he scores on it. Janmark has loads of opportunities. He's been pretty hot lately, especially in opportunities, and especially in great opportunities. He's had lots lately, and Janmark scores, and then he makes it 4 2 over the Devils. That lead would end up just being held on to, but it is a lead nonetheless. Now, Palmieri on the power play shoots on a weird angle. It goes up. I think it was pattern skates again, or I think somebody's skating on the Dallas Stars, and then it goes and it's just like squeaks in. Like a couple of bad. Like I'd say that none of the goals that Bishop let up were really his fault, but you'd like to see a save on that. He is big enough to save it, and since he has that size, you think he would save it. The Stars end up holding on to that lead 4-3 in the final and get 2 points. That's what you want to hear. For Devils fans, a couple of bad penalties and a couple of bad bounces here and there, and the Devils end up giving a couple of goals away, and a couple of goals just go in because they're just unlucky. So it was a pretty unlucky game for the Devils. I felt like they played great throughout the whole game. They were fast, they were speedy, they were doing a lot of things right. But at the end of the day, the Stars were able to convert on the chances that they got, the penalties that they were given, and the Stars end up winning at 4-3, and that's a big key to them winning. If they're converting on their chances, they're going to win. But the next game is against the Oilers on, I think it's January 6th at the AAC. I'm hoping that they win. The Oilers won in the shootout yesterday against the Ducks, so they might be on a little bit of a hot streak here, but we'll have to wait and see until the Stars face them, of course. But that's going to be it for today, guys. If you guys enjoy it, make sure to like, guys. Really did enjoy it. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.